I'm John Nichols, and this is my YouTube channel, Humans for Nature, and I'd like to welcome you to my second video. Now, if you haven't seen the first video, it might be an idea to watch it, as it introduces you to the vision I have for this channel. Now, the main segment for this Wednesday is the joy of electric bikes, followed by a discussion regarding global warming. Now, my first bike I had about 3 years ago, and it was a Merida Espresso, which I paid about $3,600 for, and it suited me very well. It had a central motor, which meant that the pedals were out the side of the motor. It also had an electronic gearbox and not a derailleur, and that allowed it to have hydraulic disc brakes all round, front and rear. So, but it was, it turned out it was great on hilly roads. Now, where I live here in Newport, which is in the northern beaches of Sydney, it is very hilly, and so at my age, and anybody, well, to give you an idea, I'm 80 in October, so it does get rather difficult on some of the extreme hills. But when I have an electric bike, and having an electric bike, it really is a doddle. I have no trouble with hills, and I really enjoy it. Now, the second bike, the second bike, the idea I have with regards to that is that when I take the Tesla away, and I don't have a I don't have a tow bar, and I don't have a bike rack. In fact, tow bars are not available in Australia at the moment for Tesla, although you can get one in America, you can get them in Europe. But they will come. But the problem is with having a bike rack, you tend to, you've got your bike on the back, then you've got a couple of cameras, you've got sensors on the back, and it tends to interfere with that. So I'm not that keen on it. I mean, you can put, I did originally buy these suck-on type roof racks, and I thought that was going to be a great idea, but as it turned out, it's a bit too much for me to lift it. Even though I take the battery out, I couldn't lift it up onto the roof. Those days have gone, I'm afraid, but anyway, that's not too bad. Now, what I tended to do was, come up with the idea is that if I bought a folding bike, maybe I should keep my Merida, buy a second bike, a folding bike, a cheaper one, and then that would suit my purposes. So I bought a second bike, and but it didn't work out too well. I didn't like that, and it wasn't too good at all. So having that bike wasn't too good, but I still like the principle of having a folding bike, because with a folding bike it would give me a lot more room in the car. Now, so I ended up deciding I'd sell that. Well, I didn't sell it, they took it back. The company I bought it from, they took it back, and so that's where I stand at the moment, except that I have bought another bike. What I decided to do was that I would sell my Merida and buy a much more upmarket folding bike. Instead of having the two, I'd have an upmarket folding bike, and that's what I've done, and I'm very happy with that situation. Now I bought myself a Lightner, and it's called a Super T. And that bike, it suits me very well. In fact, I really enjoy that. And to tell you the truth, it's outside at the moment. So why don't we go outside and let's have a look at it, shall we? So here we are. This is my Leitner Super T, and it's my pride and joy. I love the little thing, and it's just been, you know, it's just the right size for me, the motor and so forth. Now here you can see I've got a bag on the back, which I find extremely useful. I can do amazing amount of shopping without putting a backpack on. And up here we have a holder for my phone, which I like to have because I like to receive phone calls. And also next to it, to the right there, you can see there's a reversing mirror, which I've never had on a bike before, but I find that extremely interesting, extremely useful. So here we go again. Here's my little beauty folded and ready to be put in the car, in my beautiful Tesla. I'll wander around like this so that you have a look, so we can see how small it goes. Now obviously I'd take the bag off the back if I was putting it into the car, and I'd probably, for weight wise, would take the battery out. Other than that, that's all. Now this is the boot of the Tesla, and I thought I might show you this compartment in the back that's just got, at the moment, it's just got the bag with the charging cables of all different sizes that you need. But the interesting thing about that is that before I put the bike on top of it, I'll put the panel down and then put the bike on top of it, I can actually get a reasonable size medium suitcase in there, which I think is great. Okay, this is a shot with the Leitner in the back of the Tesla, and you see that I've put a piece of carpet which I keep in the back especially for this, so I don't damage the car getting it in. And in fact this time I haven't taken the battery out, and I didn't take the bag off the back, which I have in the past. But you can see it fits in there quite nicely. I would have shown you me putting it in there, but I'm on my own, so bad luck. So there you go. It fits in there, and the great thing is I can have a suitcase below it. The rear seat is still up, so the dog can go in the back on his blanket, and in the front, or the front as they call it, I think, you can put another suitcase. So this isn't a terribly big car, but boy, you can carry quite a lot of gear with it, that's for sure. Now, my final segment for today is regarding profound statements with regards to global warming. And today's statement is made by, or was made by, Barack Obama in 2014. And it stated, "We are the first generation to feel the impact of climate change and the last to be able to do anything about it." Now, do you believe that is true? And do you think we can do anything about it? What I'd like you to do is make a comment below and let me know how you feel. Now, I have a friend that I made this quote to. I repeated it to him, but he didn't believe it. And the reason he didn't believe it, he told me, was his granddaughter, who is about 13, and is obviously thinking of going to university and has always dreamt of being a doctor, but now has changed her mind and decided to do environmental sciences because she feels so strongly about global warming and the problems this planet is having with that. Now, I think that's very noble, and I believe that. I've noticed that there are thousands upon thousands of young people in Australia who believe in global warming. They believe there is a problem with it, and there's far more of them than there are the older people. Now, my answer to that, and the problem I have with that answer, is that it is our generation, in the last 20 odd years and the coming years up until his granddaughter is at a stage where she could actually, education-wise, be able to do anything about it. She will not, we have not made the opportunities, we have not done what we should be doing. We're just making it far more difficult for the younger people to do anything about global warming. We need to make a major effort. There's so much that could be done. It's no good talking about the technologies. The technologies are already there. We have all the technology we want to make major effort and major inroads into global warming. Now, our biggest problem here in Australia is our government. They just have no real interest in it. There are too many right-wing skeptics within the party, and to me the biggest problem, of course, is Angus Taylor, who is the Minister for Energy, and he's had that portfolio now for at least 2 years. And I wonder that when he was given the portfolio, surely he must have been given some sort of brief that told him that whatever happens, the believers and people who believe in renewables and believe in global warming should at no circumstance be given any chance of making any gains or any headway. So that's the way he is and the way he reacts, and that's how I feel about it. Now, well, look, that's enough for today. So till next Wednesday or the next Wednesday, I hope you will join me, and I hope you will subscribe and make any comments or remarks below. And until then, I'd like to say g'day and goodbye.